So, welcome back to episode 16, I want to say, of Aftermath. I should have checked that before we started. Quick recap where we left off. Our illustrious band of misfits, which is now the official name because they haven't named themselves, found themselves on the middle of a mountain, middle of nowhere. They met up with Jack here after an interesting encounter inside of a giant train city, and they are now going to, well, they have now made their way to Jack's hometown, which was a sort of a day and a bit hike, and they have been sort of investigating what the fuck's up with there, and yeah, interesting revelations were had, mostly about Pandal, and also, unfortunately, Vetzel had to leave, as Vetzel was very drunk and decided to wander off into the wilderness. I think that doesn't sum anything up, but we're going to start from there.
Also, Luke actually had to leave.
And there was also that.
Minor detail.
Yeah, that really doesn't sum anything up, so we're starting from there. So, I think jumping back into it, we'll start with Sauriv and Pandal, who had just met, who I believe is currently in your notes as Super Druid. And her daughter, the apparent half-dragon.
Yep.
Oh, there's a daughter.
It's cute that you think I date notes.
It's Vom. Apparently
Yeah,
he
I
has
took
notes.
I don't have notes.
Oh, hashtag good boy. We were just going back to the tavern, weren't we? I don't think we had.
Yeah, I
anything
think
to
so.
do.
Okay, so you two are heading back to the tavern. I believe Wakili was still in the tavern?
Yeah.
Jack, you were... Yeah, you had a little bit more work to do, and then you were gonna head off.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Akane and Mathias. Akane, you had commissioned some clothes, I believe?
Yeah,
or
some
something.
fine clothes.
Yep. And you... I don't think you picked those up yet, have you?
Not yet, no.
Yeah. Yeah, they were just being adjusted to fit you. And so
Yep.
they... you have about, like... about half an hour, I think it was. Or was
Yeah,
was
an
it
hour or half an hour or something.
Hour, half an hour, something like that. It wasn't long. And Mathias had commissioned... What did you commission, Mathias?
Studded leather armor.
Indeed. And also you had bought a hip flask.
A flask.
Yes. So, where are you two headed? In this case.
After all that
So
noise,
you'll probably see Pandal and Sauriv heading back on their way towards the library. Not the library. Your notes are distracting me. Towards the tavern. Just you remember, you're in this large open cave. The blacksmith in the centre. There's a set of steps leading up to where Super Druid and daughter were. Where there's a sort of an area of cave that is completely unnaturally covered in all sorts of fauna and plant life. And around you there's a number of exits from the cave. Primarily there is also a few shops along the area. There's one of which has the sort of the town sorceress, who is also just is an old lady that was runs the tailor shop. And there's also that one exit, is the same one you came in, which leads off and it doubles back on itself, and somehow you end up outside the mountain. Passing the tavern on the way, and also the mayor's office.
sure thing. Hey guys,
Oh. Hello there.
Oh, it's you. Hello.
do you know there was a library in town?
I mean, I was vaguely aware.
Yeah,
Did
it's
we s-
proper weird. You have to like ask the shelf if you can read the books or they'll slap your hand away.
So he was asking the shop. What? How does that work? Is it like a ticket basic? Like you feed the shelf as a ticket? Like, or you
No,
talk
you
to
just
it and it
ask
goes,
nicely.
oh, it's a nice day, thanks.
I'm not sure I
ask
want to
nicely.
know.
You just ask nicely. He's called Chef.
It's called Jeff.
Huh.
He's called Chef.
Oh.
And Jeff, there's like occupation as a shelf or like a
Jeff
part-time
is-
thing?
Jeff is a shelf.
Okay. Right. You sure you don't want to go back to the tavern where you've clearly spent at least some time this morning? Is that not a...
Well, yeah, that's right. I had I'm not drunk.
You were talking to a shelf, Mathias.
You
Well,
want to
you
see the
would-
shelf?
Well,
Well,
if
the-
you aren't drunk, then were you hit in the head or something?
Akane
I've
back me
had
up
this
on
before.
Yeah,
it
the
was-
shelf is quite weird here. It grows
Right.
hands and grabs your wrists if you try to take a book.
How drunk was I last night? Did I smash your two heads together?
No.
Would be the first time.
Yes, it would be.
Oh, you lot, maybe. So, I must admit I'm a little bit curious about this shelf now. Talking shelf
As am I, but I don't know what
But I
what's
don't.
going to be there.
Yeah.
It's, I mean,
Maybe
it's
that's something from my shopping list.
It's a library.
By the way, do any of
Don't
you two
Buy
guys speak
books in a
Dwarven?
library.
Do any of you two speak Dwarven, perhaps?
I mean, kinda.
I mean,
Yeah,
no,
Oh,
definitely
this,
not.
this belt here, it helps me. Kinda.
most books are in languages we don't read.
Yeah.
Alright then, just let the smart one see them. I'm gonna just cross my arms and puff it in my chest.
I give Mathias a look.
I look back and Akane smiling. Follow me.
I'm gonna follow along then.
Yeah,
Time to show these fools the library.
So you lead them out of the large cavern, the same way you came in, heading mostly back the exact same route towards the tavern, except instead of taking what would be 4 doors down, no, 5 doors down to the tavern, you take the first door, and it opens into what is essentially a small closet with two shelves, 2 bookshelves.
As Jeff, be nice to him. I am going to sit down in the corner with and open up my own book and start ritual casting comprehend languages.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna just go up, look at Pandal, and just, look at the shelf. I'm just gonna say, hello, Jeff.
One eye appears from the shelf and just looks at you.
What the hell is that?
I mean, Jeff,
Why
I
did-
think.
Why don't you try to grab a book?
Why does it have an eye?
It's a bookshelf. Obviously, they all have eyes. That's just a
I do?
natural state of being.
The eye closes
Yeah, you
over.
just don't know.
God.
The eye closes over and sort of just melds itself back into not being there.
So
That's
you won't be able to see.
weird. I'm. Are there any books?
Ask
Yargon, are there any books that I can read, like the spines of, or something? Other covers or whatever?
There's a lot of books you can read the spines of, due to the fact that you can currently read Dwarvish. What other languages do you read?
Common and Draconic.
There is one book in Draconic as well. And there are, I believe, like a few in Common that all appear to be about mining and minerals. The Draconic one appears to say something about, it's like plants and herbalism. The Dwarven ones, again, very mining focus, suspiciously. And there are a few books that appear to be sort of about the arcane arts and that kind of stuff on one shelf.
I don't like that one. Rocks.
Scissors.
Mad. That.
I think he beat you, Pandal.
Mast? No. Magic? Pandal, am I reading that right?
Yep, sure, definitely.
I think
Can't
it
read
says
Dwarven.
magic. I think. Probably. I don't know. I've not done this whole reading thing very often.
Is that one of the dwarven ones?
Yeah, that's Dwarven.
Alright.
There's another one over there that was plants and crap. I'm going to take this now. Okay, Jeff. Thank you. I'm going to reach out and grab the book and start throwing it
Hand
off the shelf.
like snakes its way out of the shelf and grabs onto your arm. If you want to resist,
Come
you
on.
can. If you want to resist a grapple, you can.
Okay, yeah. Fuck this guy. So
Let me
athletics.
Oh boy, first roll of the day.
That's a 9.
let me
Plus
just
7.
open up his character sheet.
Plus 20. Ah!
Uh,
Totally does.
You made the character sheet for a bookshelf.
I do have a character
Jeff,
sheet
innit?
for a bookshelf.
That was in case we attacked it, I guess.
You brought Sauriv to it.
Cast we can kill it.
Where the hell is he? Right, and it's just strength in it, so. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, you just auto-grapple by it. The escape DC is 13, though. So.
No.
But you do have disadvantage, apparently.
What?
Yeah, you have disadvantage to escape the grapple.
Because it's a bookshelf.
Okay, so roll again.
Still beat it, though.
No. Oh yeah, that should actually be. So yeah, it's a 9 plus 7, because that's a 10.
Yeah, so, either way, you beat it. And as, yeah, so you like, snatch your hand back, and as you do, Jeff's, the hand that sort of snaked out, it bends, like, kind of unnaturally as the fingers bend back. More fluid, as if they don't have bones. They're kind of more, like, rigid, then just bent consistently in an arc instead of at different points. They don't appear to be jointed, they appear to bend in, like, strange ways. And they kind of bend back as you sort of yank your hand back out of it.
Are they still reaching for me, or?
No, the hand sort of and comes back into the bookshelf.
And I have the book, yeah?
You won't.
No? Oh,
Nope.
what I'll write this thing. It's weird.
You have to ask nicely.
What did you ask?
Hey Jeff,
An eye appears and looks at you.
can my friend here pick up one of the books?
And I looks over at Akane. And then over at
Yeah, the
Pandal.
big one.
Looks at Pandal.
The scaly one.
Gesture my head towards Sauriv.
It looks at Sauriv. Then back at you. And then the eye just disappears.
Give it a shot.
I'm gonna reach out very gingerly and grab the book and pull it really quickly.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
You have
Ah.
a book now. So,
I have thwarted the bookshelf.
Well done, Sauriv, you've defeated a piece of furniture.
The greatest enemy of mankind.
so what book did you pick up? You went for a magic one.
Yeah, it was the magic one that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the magic one.
Yeah, it's Mystic Hearts and Magic. That's what it says on the cover. In Dwarvish. Dwarven.
Can only trying to look at it from different angles.
It's got a thick, it's leather bound. It's got this kind of dark purple leather that shimmers slightly depending on the angle you're holding it at, as if it's got like an oily sheen to it, but it doesn't feel like it's got an oil on it. And the text in it is inlaid in something that red, and it's like slightly indented into it. And quite nice calligraphy.
Well, this looks fancy. This looks fancy.
Which one?
It's called Mystic Art and Magic.
Okay, if you give me another 5 minutes, I'll be able to read that.
All right. If anyone else asks me, if pretty much for everything I'm reading out, it's really fucking slow.
Sure.
Everything. I don't read much.
I am.
Fair
I'm,
enough.
I'm clearly pained as I continue on ritual casting this spell.
Okay. So is anyone else going to do anything until Matthias is done?
No.
Laugh at Sauriv trying to read words.
Okay.
I know that's rude. I don't do this very often.
Sreeve, you get halfway through the front page before you realise it's blank. And then you get like halfway through the next page, which currently just has the title on it. By the time Matthias has finished with Comprehend Languages. Yeah, you finish your ritual, Matthias. Suddenly able to, as you look at the bookshelf, the words that were previously unable to be read, you can sense this sort of like strange energy surrounding them that's not there. You're aware of this, having cast the spell before, but you see this sort of around them, and it'll form into words if you can touch the page, which I believe you do need to actually do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Sauriv, do you mind if I take a look at that?
Alright then, hand over the book.
Okay.
Before I actually take the book, I'm gonna look at Jeff. And I'm gonna ask, is it okay if I take this book?
Doesn't respond.
It's not his book
I'll take-
anymore.
I'll take the book. I'm gonna real quickly say I'm gonna start reading the book. I effectively can read through it for 1 hour, so 60 pages. I'll
It's
effectively go through it diagonally. Yeah.
it's a lot longer than 60 pages.
Yeah. What I want to do is go through it diagonally, find the interesting parts of the book.
How do you go through a book diagonally?
What do you mean?
Roll investigation and start flipping through it.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Either way, I'll do that, and I have to go downstairs for a bit, but I'll be back as soon as possible. That's one shite roll. Either way, catch 8.
Okay, so Matthias begins sort of staring at a book and sort of thumbing through it. What's everyone else doing in that time?
Are there any
Um,
books that I can read?
What languages do you speak?
Common and Halfling.
There is a book in Halfling.
Oh, Jeff, mate, could I just like borrow that one?
A hand comes off the shelf, grabs the book, and hands it to you.
Oh, thanks, mate. You know, it's a height problem. I'm gonna start flipping through that.
It appears to be a book on how you brew
How
Halfling
is the
ale.
half-life book on the top shelf?
Oh,
Yes.
it is. It's on the highest of the shelves. It's actually laid
Of course
down
it is.
flat on top of some other books, just to be the highest book on the shelf. It's a book that appears to be about how to brew different types of traditional halfling ales and that kind of stuff.
What's that about?
It's about like brewing alcohol, but like not like good dwarven alcohol, like shit halfling alcohol. It's a bit like, you know.
Halfling's not bad.
Yeah, but if you've had like a good
But it's
dwarven ale and
not
you've
as
had like
good
a
as
halfling
Dwarven,
ale,
no.
yeah, it's like it's
Yeah,
not.
it's just not compared to Dwarven.
Yeah, it's like... I'm just gonna like give Jeff back the book so he can put it back.
Yeah, you hold it out, and after a brief moment, the hand comes out and just puts it exactly back where it was. And then just sort of back into the bookshelf.
I'm gonna look around for another minute or so, and then I'm gonna say, "Books are boring."
You
Does
see,
anybody know where there's a blacksmith?
as you say that, 2 eyes appear in the bookshelf, and they just look sad. Just sort of sad eyes.
Sorry,
Oh,
person.
Akane.
Born to me. So, where's the blacksmith?
He's just a barbarian, literally.
The eyes disappear.
I
we
can't
got-
help Mark Brumgan.
Oh, bless.
We just came from a blacksmith, actually. I explained to the board this, I guess, because I didn't know it, actually.
Yeah,
it's been
well,
2 weeks.
It's
Like,
exactly
downwards,
the blacksmith was in the large cavern area where you guys went to talk to the druid. You went through a large cavern, which you were all just met up in, and then you had to go up a flight of stairs to get to the cave where clearly the druid was, and it's in the kind of in the center of that. It's got a big forge that
Alright, okay.
isn't releasing any smoke.
Would I actually have saw it?
Potentially.
Alright, I'm just gonna say, I need some more supplies. Yeah, that's the word for it. Yeah.
You can do your supplies.
come on,
in the dragon, don't you?
It was in
Oh.
the cave where we met.
Oh,
What were you guys
okay.
actually doing there?
Oh, we were just having a discussion with like some lady about like some ingredients that I needed.
Okay.
It's a list, but it's in Draconic, so I can't actually read
Yeah,
it. I'll try to do it
ingredients.
later. With his
Yeah,
fancy like.
alright,
doohickeys.
alright. So,
What kind of
I'm
lady
gonna
was
go
this?
there.
Oh, she was like super old, but like didn't look super old. And she was quite nice. She was very helpful.
So Sauriv begins to sort of just walk off, I assume.
Yeah, I'm just walking off pretty much. If anyone wants to follow me, feel free, but I'm just walking. I'm
Is
probably going to get lost.
anyone following Sauriv?
I will, as soon as Akane finishes the conversation, go babysit Sauriv.
Okay.
Oh god.
So you find
Have a good
Sauriv
child.
attempting to turn left at a right corner. And,
On the left, friend. On the left.
Oh,
Okay.
right. And
got it.
and
You got
I
it.
begin walking back the way we came.
yeah, so you walk back into the sorry. You end up doing again. You do this sort of loop, taking about a 90-degree turn right 4 times in a row, and end up in a big cavern that you weren't in before. And in front of you is this. Yeah, it's kind of the big cavern. As I say, there's the shops along sort of one side. There's the blacksmith. It's kind of central, but it's also set down a bit. So maybe that's how you missed it, or not sure. But
Oh, right.
you head over, and it's like it kind of looks like a bit of something that was naturally here that's been carved into, and yeah, as you go around it, it's kind of disguised a little bit, but obviously not intentionally. It's just the way they've used the natural stone.
Okay.
As you approach, there is, I believe, Jack, you were leatherworking, because yeah, Jack is working on fitting some leather armor. You see outside the blacksmith using like not a tanning rack. What's the word? Just using one of the workbenches that's outside, and there's like a large what the hell are they called? Like forge that is it's currently cold, but it looks like it. As like you look up, there's no sign that there's ever been any smoke in here, as you would usually find kind of stainings on the roof. And with where you come from, you'd kind of know for that kind of stuff, and like how you'd know about fire and about how it can give you away. And
Yes, our tribe is advanced enough to know about fire. Thank you.
not what I meant, but like you know fire very well. It's about the height of your
Yes, I
technology,
do.
so it's a thing that you are very familiar with. It's the sort of stuff the stuff you go to university for.
So what you're saying is that I don't know very much about it.
University in the tribe, you know how it is. But
Pretty low standards.
not what I meant. But yeah, where you would normally expect to see some kind of scorch mark or anything like that on kind of the roof of the cavern, if there was dust or soot or any of that kind of stuff from the smoke of fire, there isn't any. Although the coals are currently cold, so who knows? Maybe they just clean it. And as you approach, there are 2 big sort of thick oak doors that are closed, and there's a sign outside, it just says blacksmith.
Is Jack outside working, or?
Yeah, he's working on one of the few like benches that just outside were.
Oh, hello, Jack.
Good evening, or good day.
I'm
Hey.
not really sure. It's kind of cavey in here. Do you
Mm.
work here?
Yeah, for at least like a day or so. Doing some, hopefully with you guys.
Alright. Are you the boss man? Or is there another boss man?
Yeah, no problem, man. He's inside.
Alright, I'm gonna
Open
speak
the
to the
door.
boss man.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm gonna go and speak to the boss man.
Cool. The big, thick wooden oak doors with like big, heavy iron bands on them. That appears to be, one of them appears to be slightly off its hinge. As you pull the door open, and inside is pretty much Sauriv's wet dream. There is all sorts of weapons lining one wall. There's some armour, not sure what that's about. There appears to be a cabinet in one corner that is locked with at least 3 different locks and chains across it. There's display cases with huge swords, with spears, with javelins. There's maces, warhammers, everything you could possibly want. Even for creatures bigger than maybe you.
Oh my god. Yes. I like it. I'm just gonna go and just look through all the swords and all them, everything that's big.
Yeah, there's a
Also
lot of
looking
them.
for javelins as well.
There are some javelins, some very fancy, very ornate. Some of them just javelins, and some of them appears to be sticks with like stones tied to the end. There are also there are a few warhammers, a few maces, a few battle axes, but there are a lot of swords, big, heavy, two-handed swords, kind of like the one you wield. Some bigger, some slightly smaller, varying different shapes, all sorts of things.
Oh my god, this is amazing. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Just gonna pick up a sword and swing it around and just try and test out some of the swords. Not against anything.
So, you
Just
pick
swinging
up
them.
one of the swords. It looks kind of like yours, except about halfway down the blade, there's this kind of a notch indent, and then it keeps going. That's clearly intentional. It's sharpened on the inside, and yeah, and the blade has this kind of intricate, like almost floral pattern, but without any flowers, like swirling. That's the word I'm looking for. It like spirals down all the way to the tip, and as you pick it up, the pattern glows ever so faintly, giving off a very faint white mist. And the blade is it's quite cold to the touch. You pick it up and you swing it through the air, and it leaves a sort of light blue trail of this kind of mist behind it coming out of this pattern. And as you do, you swing it round, and behind you is stood a man in what appears to be a half-elf in some pretty fine robes. He goes, "Oh there, man!
What?
Well, hello there.
Hi. Is you the masters?
That I am. What can I do for you?"
Right. I like this sword.
That's a
I like
fine
this sword
one.
a lot.
Yes, it's a fine blade, but it has some definite work to be done.
What? What still needs to be done to it?
Oh, a few things. I'm not particularly happy with the shape of the, and he sort of gestures at, at the hilt. Not particularly happy with the shape of the hilt. It could do with a little work. Fit the hand, you see. You know how it is.
Well, it's fine for me. I don't mind it like that.
Oh, I'd never sell a piece that isn't done. Are you looking to buy a sword, then?
A couple of things, actually.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, I mean, this sword caught my eye, but I'm also looking for some javelins. I threw quite a lot of them, and I need some more.
He gestures at the rack of javelins. And take your pick.
Yeah.
We have everything from enchanted to sticks. Weirdly, they're popular around here. I don't think I've seen your face before. You wouldn't be with the newcomers in town, would you?
Yeah. My name is Sauriv, and I'm going to hold out my hand.
He holds out his hand. He shakes it. It's a much firmer grip than, and he almost takes control of, sort of taking control of the handshake. It's much firmer grip than you'd expect. I'm Illifin. Nice to meet you.
I should expect from a blacksmith.
He doesn't
Just-
look like a blacksmith. He's wearing fine robes, and he's a half-elf that doesn't appear to have too much muscle on him.
Okay, so yeah, never mind. I'm gonna say after the handshake, I'm just gonna look at him. I'm just gonna say, "Are you you a blacksmith or are you a magic-y person?
I am a magical blacksmith. My goods are
That's-
magically good.
This
Enchanted, you might say.
I don't understand. What?
I make good
He
swords.
makes like well good swords.
Oh, right, okay. Sure. All right.
I
Um,
like this one. And he extends a hand out towards you. It's nice to meet you.
I assume that's the Pandal.
Yeah, to Pandal.
Hello, Pandal. Pleasure's all yours.
That it certainly isn't. And he shakes your hand and looks back at Sauriv. No.
Right then. So, javelins. How much for? And I'm just gonna like go over to the rack, and I'm just gonna start picking up like I don't know, like 10 javelins.
Are you going for like the super fancy ones, the like
Not
very plain
super
ones, or the
fancy.
like real? Not
Just a javelin, but not a stick, but not too fancy.
okay. So just sort of plain javelins, similar to
Yeah,
what you had.
Pretty much plain javelins, yeah.
All right.
And is there any that I can kind of? I know what rule this is going to be, but are there any that I can just see are enchanted?
That is an Arcana check. You're right.
I know it is. I got a 12. Actually.
12.
not
That's impressive. Yeah, there's a few. The super fancy looking ones all appear to be enchanted, from what you can tell. You've no idea what they're enchanted with, but
Yeah.
some of them have like tips that are like neat. What's the word? Innately. That's not the word. Intricately engraved, and they have like glowing runes on them that very faintly give off little mist, or like, something similar to the sword you were just holding, or that kind of stuff.
What kind of magic-y things do these ones do?
Or anything you might want, I suppose. It's a javelin, you're looking to kill things. We've got some that explode, some that, well, leave trails of fire. One even turns into a bolt of lightning. And this one over here, he points at one that is, you note, currently in a case that is locked with no less than 5 different locks, each with appears to be a different sized key, and at least 3 bolts across. This one is of particular interest. It's particularly deadly against the draconic kind.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble for that one.
How much for it? My eyes are glowing. Positively glowing.
He sort of
I'm back.
looks at you questioningly. Well, I suppose I could let it go for maybe a few hundred gold.
200?
I was thinking more like 5.
I don't. Let me speak with my advisor, and I'm going to walk outside, grab Pandal, and I'm going to take him outside. And I'm
I've
just
been
going to,
promoted to javelin advisor, have I? That's exciting.
I don't have that much money. Can I borrow some money?
How much money do you need to borrow, sorry?
250.
Need to borrow 250 gold from me, your dear friend.
I mean, we did earn a lot of money. I'll
We did
pay you
earn a lot.
back.
I would
Eventually.
try and extort you for a higher percentage interest rate, but I don't think you know what the word percentage means.
I've never heard that one before, so thank you very much. You're a good man.
Don't waste it, and don't get it stuck in a dragon that flies away.
I don't even think he knows what the word interest rate means.
No,
So
he
probably
really
doesn't
doesn't.
at this stage.
Come from a tribe, we don't bother with that. You don't pay back, you get murdered.
Break your fucking kneecaps.
I'm going to come back in and I'm going to put the 25 platinum on the table, count out 5 platinum for myself, and then another 200 gold, piece by piece.
You have that like stored in your loincloth, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. He looks at you slightly with what appears to be sort of a mix of disgust and confusion.
I just So yeah,
As you pull it
actually,
out.
yes. I come back into the blacksmith holding a pouch of 25 platinum, and as I'm walking in, I just reach into my crotch and pull out another bag.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's this sort of look of disgust and confusion on his face as you do that, and he just sort of shakes his head.
Uh,
Oh,
Who's gonna catch so I just give him a shrug, like, oh, it's deal with it,
Fucking
man.
Sauriv.
Money is money.
gold is gold, I suppose.
Yeah,
Maybe if we wash it.
quite slowly count out 250 gold, 200 gold, and then 30 gold platinum.
you know what they say, money stinks.
Well, this one certainly does. So you're after the Dragon Slayer then?
I have indeed.
Might I ask if you have any special interests in the slaying of dragons? As he starts taking keys out of his belt and starts unlocking the locks on it.
He starts by taking keys out of his crotch.
Off the thing on his belt.
Well, there was that one that just ran away from us, and it was annoying, so we want to kill it. What was the name of that one? Pandal? Was that
It's called a Flux Dragon, Sauriv.
Wait,
a fox dragon?
wait.
Orange.
What colour was it?
Orange.
That one.
Another one. Yes.
You've been having problems with them, or?
We've seen a few. Nothing particularly major. We usually have to deal with more dangerous beasts from down below. The dwarves here haven't stopped mining since we arrived. It's becoming a problem.
Well, alright.
And he
Up with that.
He takes the last lock off and like undoes some of the chains, and then unlocks the cabinet, opens it, and pulls out the javelin. Sort of holds it out. It's a really fine, ornate black javelin with this. It's not got like one tip; it has two. Like the tip is sort of split in half, and in the middle, although it's black, it appears to be made of obsidian. Inside, there's this red, sort of glowing. In the sort of split that joins in a like really elongated V shape, and from that V shape, the red sort of inside bit as he moves it, it kind of appears to lag behind the javelin a little bit as this sort of trail.
Oh my god! I have a tracer javelin, yes.
And he sort of very gingerly holds it out to you. That'll be 500 gold then.
It's like when your old Windows PC bugged out.
Oh my god!
You just drag the window around your screen.
Yeah, that's kind of it, except it like actually does fade away after a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's a smooth. It's not. It's smooth. It's not like dodgy looking, is it?
No, it is very. It's smooth
very
trail.
smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Tron?
Ooh.
If you've ever seen Tron, it's kind of what the
right. Yeah.
kind of what the light bikes leave behind, but like not that, just real shots, kind of weird. Like when they swing a sword in anime or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like that, but it's magic. It's definitely magic. And it's got little runes on it, and it's got this intricate carving of and it's got sort of carvings of dragons and fire and that kind of stuff down it, and it feels really nicely weighted in your grasp.
This is very nice. I like this a lot.
And he takes
This
the gold, takes the pouch, puts it in the pouch, puts that pouch into his gold drawer, clearly separate from other gold, closes the drawer, locks it, goes back and starts. He actually starts taking the chains down off of the cabinet as he closes it up. Is there anything else that I might be able to help you with?
I've got a couple of questions. Do you do what do you call it? Identification?
Identification? I might be able to do that.
This sword here on me back, it's been a little, I don't know, it's felt kind of weird. Like I've been swinging it, and sometimes it's been doing magical stuff.
Let me see that then.
I don't know, it's weird, and I'll hand it over.
Okay. He takes the sword with a lot less difficulty than you would expect for someone of his size, and looks down, and there are clearly very they're very faint, but there are clearly some runes etched along the blade. And he looks them over and, yes, I think I can work with this. And he takes it over to his desk, and he pulls out a magnifying glass, and he starts looking at the runes as he goes over them with the magnifying glass, carefully inspecting each one and taking a few notes on a piece of paper in a language. You do read Draconic, don't you?
I do read Draconic.
Yeah, he's taking notes that appear to be different components of the enchantment on it.
Oh, right.
And so he's noting down what each rune means, and then he starts like connecting them together, and then he looks at sort of effectively what he's made on his notepad. Yes, well, that's a very simple mistake. I can see if we removed this one and replaced it with a slightly different variant, that would... It appears to be the work of a novice, but it is indeed enchanted with some basic enchantments. It appears that the sword overrides your natural abilities in certain circumstances.
Yeah, I've kind of felt that. I didn't like it.
I think I might be able to remove that for you, but this kind of magic takes a little bit of time. For, let's say, 100 gold, I can perhaps remove its interfering with your natural abilities and leave you with its benefits. In short, it will remove the effect on the nat 20. That'll be gone, but the 8 will still be there.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, I've just spent a lot of money buying a javelin, so...
It's a very dangerous javelin, that is.
It's a very dangerous javelin, and it's very expensive, so I'll give you a lot of money.
That you
So-
did.
Could I get, like, a little bit of a discount?
All right. Considering you're taking that off my hands, I'll make it 100 gold.
That's what you said, was it?
No,
That's what he just said,
nonsense.
sorry.
I already factored it in. It would normally be 120.
Oh,
You
well,
can,
I don't have that much, so,
you can roll insight if you want.
okay.
I was like, come on. this is like-
Motherfucker.
God damn it. Not even going to roll. Yeah, he's pushing it. He's trying his luck. He's clearly pushing it.
Are you telling the truth?
Absolutely not. All right. How about 50 gold?
I still don't have that much.
Tell you what, mate. See, you're a savvy businessman. You tried oldest trick in the book, which is say the same price but pretend it's a discount. I can respect that. It's a classic.
That it is.
I'll
Usually
gamble
works
with
as
you
well.
for it. Tell you what, I'll pay the 50 gold if we lose this game of dice.
Very well. Take you up on that one. He'll
Okay.
sit down to play a game of dice. And I
What
assume-
if you win?
My charlatan's dice, because fuck this guy.
yeah, so
What if you win though?
If I
What?
win, then I get it for free. We're playing for it. That's what I said.
yeah, he's playing for it. So you sit down, you pull out your set of dice, and you don't mind if I inspect your dice to check that they are real dice, do you? I don't have a set on hand. And you sort of
I mean, of course they're real dice.
holds his hand
They-
out.
I'll give him the dice, sure.
He looks them over, sort of rolls them around in his hand. And, they don't feel weighted. He hands them back.
Sure.
So, there's no rolls involved here. You just win.
Yep.
He
There
just
is-
chooses what he gets. So.
There is a sleight of hand involved, though. Go ahead.
So,
Yeah, go ahead and roll a sleight of hand.
Is there?
is it a sleight of hand or a performance to pretend like I'm not rigging it? Or
Was it performance?
Because I thought it was a performance to pretend that I wasn't rigging it.
Yeah, okay.
That's what we did last time.
I'll let you do either.
Well, I'm gonna do the one with the 11 as opposed to the 7.
Go for it.
Because bards.
Ooh, he rolled well.
Here's the latest one.
Yeah, he's -1 to wisdom. Okay. Yeah.
Businessman that cannot insight.
Oh, he has expertise in insight. He just
Oh god.
has a -1 to wisdom.
This is just to figure out that it's magic.
Uh,
Or something. I don't know. Oh
it's,
well.
it's
This is
perception.
for me to bluff off, not like rigging everything.
No, this is perception to notice that something's up.
Oh, right. Okay.
And his perception isn't his thing. Yeah, so, flawlessly, you beat him at dice, and it looks like the luck of the draw. Well, I can't argue with that result. Very well. And he holds a hand out to you. Yeah, he holds a hand out to you, to shake your hand. In that case, I'll see what I can do about your sword. It'll take me a little time. Perhaps, you say you're with the others, the one that just ordered some armor, yes?
Yeah, I'm with him.
I'll get Jack to bring the sword with him when he...
Oh,
Actually, I think your friend is coming back here in about an hour. If you pick it up with him, it should be done by then.
oh, all right then. That's fine. Thank you very much. You're a good man.
Good doing business with you.
It's very nice doing business to you.
And he starts taking out a few engraving tools and some sandpaper and starts sanding off one of the runes on your sword and starts getting to work.
And I'm going to put all of the other javelins back because I have no money for them anymore.
Right.
I'm going to walk out with my shiny black javelin.
Okay.
Of
So,
something or other.
As we get like a reasonable amount away from the blacksmith, you owe me one for that, and you also
I
still
do.
owe me 25
okay, so,
Yeah, I do.
Sauriv, go ahead and note down a +2 javelin of dragon slaying. It does an additional 3d10 damage against a dragon.
Oh, whoa.
Is that one-time use?
Not if you could get it back.
That's good enough for me.
The enchantment may wear out with continual use, but it's not one time. It'll be like...
By the way.
You don't know.
Gav.
Yeah.
Pandal. Akane asked Pandal about what they were doing. Thing that she got out of him was
They were talking...
very old.
Yeah.
Druid lady. Wait, what did you say? Lady?
I said it was a very old, like,
Yeah, very old lady that looked young. Something
yeah, I
like
was
that.
like, she's like, I mentioned she was like hundreds of years old and she looked like super young.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, he did. So,
Okay.
You're
Here's a-
welcome.
I also mentioned
you're
I was
welcome.
gonna talk to you later.
are you
So-
guys heading back? Where are Pandal and Sauriv headed now?
So I'm just the...
Heading back to the
Tavern.
others? Or the tavern?
Oh,
or...
Yeah, I was
the-
gonna-
Yeah, okay. In that case, we will cut to Mathias. Matthias, you
Yes.
rolled, what was it, a 12 on investigation? Okay.
Well,
This
yeah,
book contains a lot of rituals. They're very long, very complicated. There are some pretty high-level stuff in here, from what you can tell. Most of it appears to be wizard type. It's not really your forte, the wizard-like magic. And that's nice. And it contains not only a lot of rituals. You do see a few that you recognise, some that you don't recognise, and there's one that catches your eye because you don't recognise it, but you know of it. As you look through it, this ritual appears to... It looks like... the first thing you find is it takes an hour, and you start to read through it, and it involves multiple people, something called Essence Crystal. It does specify lots of Essence Crystal, or it's given in crystals, and then it also notes Essence Dust as a sort of an optional, switch them out, which is given by weight. And if you you keep flipping past it, because in this book, the warnings about these rituals are all written after the ritual, for some reason. As you flip through it, you get to the end, and it appears that it can give you abilities that they can be random. You don't know what they are. It is very dangerous. But at the same time, they are mostly positive abilities. And as you read through it, you sort of subconsciously think, subconsciously pull out one of the crystals, and those little crystals that you've got listed down as zappy crystals, you just hold it up to the little drawing, and it's an identical match.
Oh, Matthias, did you find the crystal ritual? Because Akane actually knew about the ritual, but
Yeah,
not exactly.
you knew of it.
Yeah.
Quite possibly, yeah.
But that's exciting, I think.
The short of it is, it can do cool stuff and it can be dangerous.
Still sounds exciting.
Requires multiple people to perform the ritual. I'm gonna need to read the details of this.
You should write it down probably, because I don't know how long that spell of yours lasts.
Oh, not long enough. I also just a few seconds go by and I look at her. Write it down?
Yeah? On the
In
separate
what?
pieces of paper?
Yeah, that's a pain. Hang on. I take out my own book.
Or in that book, yes.
See, the thing is, I don't know if I can write anything in this book. That's the problem.
I thought you actually written in it before. Did he actually write in it before, out of character?
I don't remember him doing so.
Hmm.
I haven't done it before, however, I can do it.
You can certainly try.
Fucking Yargon Mercer over here.
I'll take that.
According to the rules, it says I need 2 hours to transcribe a spell. No, for each level of the spell, the process takes 2 hours and 50 gold worth of fine ink. Well, of
That
special
is that is
2
the
hours.
recording of a wizard
Damn.
spell.
Yes, in my Book of Ancient Secrets as per the Warlock rules.
Mhm.
So,
This
theoretically, it's totally possible.
Yeah, but you need to...
that's the transcribing of
Um,
a spell. That's kind of different. This is a specific ritual that does one thing. It's not counted
know.
as a spell. It's counted as a ritual, which isn't really a rituals are spells.
Fuck it, I have...
I'm not considering it under that. Basically, you can just write this down because you don't need it to be.
You don't need it to be
yeah.
reusable.
You don't need it to be like kind of in the same way that when you note down a spell, there is a bit of arcane
Yeah.
energy in it. You don't need that for this. You can literally just write down what to do, what to say. That'll do it.
I'm gonna write down the first line of the ritual
Okay.
in my book.
Yeah. You pull out your book. Pull out your like inkwell and quill or whatever and note it down.
Yep.
You've a pen,
I
don't you?
close my book.
Okay.
I flip the pages thoroughly,
Mhm.
and then I go and find the page where I wrote it down again.
Yeah. Still says the same thing.
I look up at Akane.
Yep.
Well, apparently I've had a worded notebook on my hands all this time.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll recast the translation spell if I have to, and then I'm gonna write down this ritual.
Mhm.
Because fuck yes.
I don't know what writing speed is in D&D. This ritual is only 6 pages long.
I think I'm gonna make that.
Sorry.
So yeah,
At least in one spell.
it will.
According to comprehend language, it takes 1 minute to read 1 page of text, so I'd say that just
That's read.
translates directly. Yeah,
Uh,
to read 1 page, so I imagine it's similar.
he's. I would say it's
Ah,
maybe like
that
2 or
will
3,
work,
but
so-
either way, I
Writing-
think you can do this in like 10-15 minutes. It's not that difficult. Because, I mean, it's 6 pages, but also it's neatly formatted, they've got pictures. You will need to note something down, but you don't need to like draw an essence crystal.
Yeah.
And also you can skip the extensive last 2 pages of just like warnings,
Warnings.
about what it might be if
I'll
you
read
want to.
the warnings thoroughly.
They basically are just repeating the same thing of this gives random abilities. It can change your being, it can change you, it can do weird things.
It's like the disclaimer.
Kind of, yeah.
Akane,
Yeah.
don't tell the others. But these are kinda scary. I mean, it might change who and what you are.
That sounds kind of scary, yeah.
But I'm totally down for trying this. On
Yeah, me
Sauriv.
Yes!
Mathias, you do know it has to affect everyone who is involved in the ritual equally.
As I continue reading, I go, shit. Can't just do it on Sauriv.
Sauriv would totally go for it though.
It happens to everyone. Hmm. How many crystals and how many people do you need?
The people, you need at least one, a maximum of 10, from what you can tell.
Mhm.
Or it's never been attempted with more than 10. You need... It says it can vary depending somewhat on the flux, but you need about, like, it's listed as about 90 to 110 crystals per person. Roughly. Or more, and the abilities become more prominent or more powerful.
I'm gonna write that down. So I need to conduct this ritual myself at least.
I
Guess
can
who else is
help with
gonna
it.
take the meat? Yeah, if you're down for, I don't know, growing another 20 tails and 5 sets of ears.
Well,
or
that's
whatnot.
kind of scary, but might be handy, I guess.
Akane is actually just going to turn into a ball of fluff, isn't she? Like, the thing that they said was gonna... that Pandal spooked Sauriv with, it's just gonna happen to Akane.
Oh god. How long does the ritual take?
Please no.
About an hour to perform.
Oh sweet, let's do it tonight.
Yeah.
Akane,
Yeah.
let's convince the others to do this tonight.
Okay.
Don't know if Wakili will be in for it.
Well,
That's his choice.
we just don't tell him about the warnings.
Yeah, we'll just say, hey guys, who wants to get stronger and we'll do the ritual. For science, because honestly, that's what I'm doing. Hold on. I'm gonna grab me a coin.
Okay. You pull out a copper
If it's
piece.
heads, I don't even know if I have copper. If it's heads,
Or whatever.
I'm doing it. If it's tails, we're not. Hang on, do I have a copper piece? Yeah, I do.
Heads. Yep.
One is heads, two is tails. Roll a d2.
Rip.
Aw.
Tails.
I turned around and slapped it on my arm. Heads for doing it.
So, Akane, you see Mathias
Perfect.
flip a coin, catch it, look at it kind of worried, and then just slaps it on his arm and goes, "It's heads. We have to do this now."
This was a pointless exercise.
Flipping a coin and then deciding the result can actually be very useful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get shit done.
It makes you realise because one of them you hesitate, and the other one you don't.
Yeah.
That's how you know which one you actually want to do. I use that way too much in my life. It's not good. Anyway.
I might come back for the rituals, but I'm gonna leave it at this for now. Suppose we head over to the tavern. Ask
Okay.
Pandal who the old young druid lady is.
So, you two, so you copy that out, you put the book away, and close up.
Thanks, Jeff.
Close up the door. As you do say that, an arm sort of sticks out and waves, and back into it.
Oh my god.
What a nice bookcase.
You walk off into up a few doors along, and again it's on the right, into the tavern. Wakili.
Oh, no, by the way, can I head out to get the clothes first?
Okay. So as you do that, so
Oh yeah, and
I-
the armor.
Akane's, well, the armor will still be a bit, 'cause
Yeah.
it's going to take an hour.
Yeah, it's
Um,
another half hour or so.
Yeah, about half hour. So Akane be right back and darts off to go pick up her clothes. Just go ahead and note those down if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Wakili, what have you been doing this whole time?
Probably just messing around with my blades and just chilling out for the most part. It's not feeling very good after Vestal left last night. Feels like he should have done more, but doesn't know if that was the right thing, and it's just
Okay.
kind of trying to figure out what to do at the moment.
So as you two walk in, you see Wakili kind of holding a blade, more looking at it than actually doing anything. There's an untouched mug of ale on the what the hell? table in front of him. He's kind of got that 1,000-yard stare, clearly deep in thought. The bard lady is behind the bar, talking to... hang on, I've got the names here. Yes, Abalasia is behind the bar, talking to Skandrick about something. And then, after a brief moment, she heads off into the back, and he turns towards you as you walk in.
Hello there.
Hello. How are you all this morning, or evening, or whatever time of day it is?
You alright?
Oh,
Seem alright.
just having to make some decisions is all. You all seem like you've been busy lately.
I mean, that's awful ominous. Like murder
Shrug
sword on
my
our sleep,
shoulders.
or like
Put my sword away. What?
what kind of like scale of decisions are we talking? Like murder sword on our sleep kind of decisions, or like, man, should I get like toast or bacon this morning? Kind of decisions.
I'd go for
Mm.
bacon.
I know you would, but I was asking.
More towards the former, not the latter. But not the killing you all.
Alright then. So, yeah. Well, I've got this now. I'm gonna throw the javelin. And I'm just gonna be kind of
As you pull
going
out,
over its features and.
as you pull out the javelin, you see the like you just sort of catch at the corner of your eye there. The bartender Skandrick, he sort of takes a step back.
I'm gonna give him a little wink if I see him do that.
He glares at you.
Doesn't seem like the people around these parts like that thing very much.
I don't know what it's about.
Don't know if I like that thing very much. Cost me a lot of fucking money.
I mean, it's a bit expensive, but
It's very expensive.
it's pretty, and it kills dragons, so I like it.
Very well. Oh,
So, why you been feeling so bad?
he just points to a bottle next to him, and if you look at it, you see it's elven wine.
It's also empty.
Yeah.
Have you
It
been
was
drinking too
open wine.
much?
Yeah, where is Elven Wine anyway? Where's she at?
Where is she actually? Yeah.
She's left.
Oh,
As in
She's
like,
gone. She left on her own accord.
I didn't know she owned a car.
Not now, Rick.
wait, so she just like, kind of like was like, oh, actually I have things to do, and has run off into the wilderness?
I know she kind of wanted to do something, but didn't. She was dumb. That seems.
It had something to do with family. About missing a brother.
Oh.
What kind of like, as in like, I've just got news that my brother is like, he's not in the home, I've got to go fix it kind of news, or like,
News
My
is that
brother's
she
been
might
murdered.
find a way to get him back from the afterlife.
I'm going to look at Pandal.
That's crazy talk. I'm gonna very pointedly lean back in my chair.
Oh my god.
I'm going to
That's-
look at Pandal very judgingly.
Yeah, Wakili, you see right through that, even with an 8 on your insight. Because he's...
I'm gonna
deliberately
auto fail that
an
roll
idea.
because
I just cover up one of my hands, or one of my eyes with one of my hands and say, I'm not even going to ask right now. I've already had enough of it for one person, let alone two.
okay. Well, that's It's not good. On the plus side, though, I do have a list of things I need to get, which I can't read, and I need to ask Mathias about that.
I can read it.
Why do you need these things? Oh,
I just, it's in Draconic. It's just, you know, just kind of shopping list kind of things, you know? Nice to have.
you're trying to resurrect someone from the dead too, aren't you?
What? Wakili, that's just...
Yeah, he
Who
The
is.
is-
correct answer.
Did you just stitch on me, Sauriv? Did you just...
Couldn't
Yeah,
you
that's-
really
that's-
call it snitching? It
I
was
mean-
pretty fucking obvious.
I would, and I just lent you money, but yes, that's exactly what
I
I'm
mean,
trying
yeah,
to do, and I have a
but-
list of things I need, and it's in Draconic, so I can't read it most of the time. I'm just going to get Mathias to read it so we could transcribe it, and now I need to work out what I need, because it's like mundane ingredients, and I also need to, like, find some dragons, maybe? But, like, dragons I've never heard of, in, like, places I've never heard of, which is a bit weird.
Very well. I'm stuck with you all out here for the time being, so I'll keep traveling with you.
Rude.
Where's Mathias and the other one, Akane? Where are they at?
Oh, they were talking to a bookshelf.
And the other one also rude.
A bookshelf?
Yeah, he was a bit of a dick.
You just asked us. There was a bookshelf, it had, like, books, they appeared to be warded, but it was, like, alive.
Interesting.
Mathias has been a nerd again, like, what's new?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, has he burnt the bookshelf down?
I assume not. Doesn't seem like him, to be honest.
From what little I've heard
Yeah.
of him, it does seem like him.
Okay, well,
No, I don't think he'd burn a bookshelf down. Person, maybe, but not a bookshelf.
Fair enough.
cool
That's the
bookshelf, though.
type he is. I don't know, I don't like it. Jeff's shifty. Probably stole those books.
What makes you say that?
He grabbed me arm.
Did you grab the books off his shelf?
Yes.
Did you ask permission first?
No.
I just kind of like clasp my hands together and do the oi thing at him.
Good me,
Boy.
son.
Yeah, Sauriv, in hindsight, trying to grab things that inside people without their consent is, like, really probably not the most tactful thing you could have done.
Yeah, but I didn't know he was. I don't like him.
You just don't like books.
Yeah,
Come
but
on, let's
I don't-
wait for the
yeah,
others.
no. I'm just gonna like slowly shrinking into my chair, which is quite difficult because I'm too tall for it. But...
You're like twice the size of the chair. Yeah, you're way too tall.
I'm trying to shrink, but it's not working.
So, are you just gonna order smells or something and just wait?
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. Just gonna order a nail.
Yeah, it's Friday today, I think. No, not Friday, but Wednesday
No,
today, right?
it's
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's
It's
Wednesday,
Wednesday,
my
my
dude.
dudes.
Stop. So, Akane, you. Yeah, you will pick up the books. Not your books, your clothes. You'll be there shortly.
Ah, yeah, books. I ordered some books too.
And after. It won't be long after you guys sort of start waiting that Mathias will walk in on his own. You know, like 5 minutes or so before Mathias shows up.
Oh, I don't know.
Hello. Gonna go straight to the bar for a beer.
What can I do for you then?
One ale, please.
That I can do, and he'll pour you an ale. It's 1 silver for anyone who's taken an ale.
Sure thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a strong dwarven ale.
Perfect.
The nice stuff.
So, guys, I've had some good stuff, but Pandal, you said you wanted to talk.
Oh yeah, I just have a list I need you to, like, do your, like, oh, I can
I
read
just-
everything thing.
Stand up, grab my cider, and walk away at the mentioning of the talk.
Wakili,
Yes,
what's up?
The birds and
I
the bee.
do
but-
not want to be involved in this conversation.
I just want him to read some things. It's not that big a deal.
What
was
you
gonna go,
want
"Hey,
him to
Mathias."
do is a big deal.
I want him to read me some things. I don't see how that's an issue for anyone involved. And if Matthias feels like he wants to talk to us about, we should sit down and listen to what he has to say. Everybody, let's move on to what Matthias is currently saying.
What do you want me to read?
Pull out the list, put it on the table.
It's a list in Draconic.
That one.
You want me to, like, spend 10 minutes of my time
Incredibly valuable time.
casting a spell
That you still have
in the
up.
middle of the tavern with
Uh-huh.
a nail in my hand?
Uh-huh. Well, not necessarily right now, but I mean, if you're willing to, sure.
I mean, I could do it for you.
For the record, you still have that spell up.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, it's not been an hour yet. It's like half that.
Okay. As soon as I touch the thing, I realize. Oh wait, never mind. I look over on the back of it. Is there any notes on there?
Well, it's just the list.
Not risking that, putting the list back as it's supposed to be. Take out one of my sheets of paper and start translating to common.
Okay. Pandal, I believe you actually have everything noted down, yeah?
Well, I have the big scary stuff. You just said there was some mundane stuff. I
Mhm.
need.
Yeah.
I do not know where that is in my notes. I will find it to you and give you the exact ingredients. It's...
Wonderful, thank you.
yeah.
Does it say anything about the dragon of the dark and the well, the
It's...
dark dragon and the light dragon coming from different planes? Or any hint to that at all?
No, it's literally just a
in these
list
notes?
of, like,
Okay.
of what
very
the
well.
things are.
It was the heart of a dark dragon and the essence of a light dragon, was
Essence of a light dragon, yeah.
Yeah.
Pandal.
Yep.
What the hell is this for? Okay, no. Okay, let's take it one step back. What the hell is this?
It's a list of ingredients, Matthias. I thought you could read it.
I can read it. What the hell are these ingredients?
Well, I can't read it. That's why I need you to tell me what the ingredients are. God. Not
Oh,
the sharpest bulb in the box,
can I roll for these the heart and the essence? Can I roll an Arcana check for that nonsense?
Yeah, go for it.
Roll good. Oh boy.
Okay, what exactly is you trying to figure out?
What the heck are these dragons?
Okay,
And what the heck's the essence of a light dragon?
the heart of a dark dragon, unless someone's being poetic, is almost definitely the heart of a dark dragon. A light dragon and a dark dragon. You're not quite sure what they are, but you have heard rumours of the light plane and the dark plane. Some say that's where the sun's from or the moon's from. Not sure. Some of your books that you've read have had some religious or cultish things sort of worshipping either the different planes or and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
These dragons, you can you assume that they may be a native to those planes or they inhabit them. Or maybe that's what dragons that are there, or maybe they come from those and they're on this plane. You can't really work that out, but they appear to be related to different planes. The essence, every dragon has an essence. The essence is like a tiny fraction of its soul that has to be given willingly.
Okay then. Pandal.
So,
Most of this list can do.
it's fine.
Two problems. I pick up my ale and I start walking over to a booth, away from the bartender.
Yeah, there's a few on the end of the tavern that you can head to.
And I'm just
I'm
gonna
also,
sit down
I'm also gonna follow.
very pointedly for them to follow.
You'll follow.
Right. Um, according to this list, you need the heart of a dark dragon and the essence of a light dragon.
I don't know what those are, but they sounded pretty important.
Those
Okay.
are.
I have a Javelin Dragonstone now, so
That'll probably help for the dark dragon, not so much for the light dragon, because the essence of a light dragon is basically a fraction of its soul. It has to give up willingly.
Well, it's fine. I'm charming. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, probably. Either way, do you know what those dragons are?
Dragons are like big lizards with wings.
From what I've heard, dark dragons and light dragons are native to the planes of dark and the planes of light respectively. Now, common knowledge, the plane we're on right now is the only plane that exists. It's only if you go into the crazy superstitious cult stuff that you hear of other planes.
Okay, well that's, I guess, less of a good middle.
What do you need these for?
Oh, just some kind of, just like normal stuff. Wanted to. I read a
to
book
bring
about
back a dead loved one.
also that, yeah. But I did read a book about halfling ale. That part wasn't a lie. That was just.
You want to raise the dead.
I mean, yeah. When you put it like that, it sounds like I'm trying to like make zombies. But yeah.
You want
yeah.
to revive a deceased person.
That doesn't sound any better, but yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
I'm trying.
Didn't that old young lady thing, whoever she was, didn't she also say that the last time this happened, the person that did it died? So,
I mean, she did mention that kind of
More
offhandedly.
Specifically, oh wait, I wasn't there. Never mind.
I have found my list of my notes. The rest of my list, if you want me to note it down.
Hold I recall what she said, yeah. Fucking hell.
so yeah. I don't think you should do this, Pandal. I know you have regrets, but
It's not worries. I mean, I'll be fine. She was like, oh, if you're like weak, then you're gonna like die. So I'll be fine. Oh, if it's making such a big deal about it.
You have a list of ingredients here. Do you even know the ritual, mate?
No, she said I could like sending stone her, and she'd be like, oh, I'm gonna come help because I gotta see this because you're gonna die. And I was like, sure, mate, whatever.
Do you have a sending stone to reach her?
I pull out the sending stone she gave me.
Fair enough, I suppose. Who is this woman?
Oh, she's the the old young, not young, druid lady. I went to go have a chat with,
Oh, that
like
one.
a healer.
Okay then.
she was weird.
I
Nice,
thought she was
but
quite
weird.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she
very
was-
helpful.
Um,
He was like, oh, thousands of years ago, things happened. I was like, okay.
she knows of that. Wait,
Well,
how
but
old
she
do
was-
you say she is?
Like like 1,000 years ago or something. She was like there when someone last tried this, and it all
Wait,
went
wait, wait, wait,
wrong.
wait, 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 hold up. Hold up. You're
Yeah?
saying this woman is 1,000 years old?
I mean,
Probably
that's what
older.
she says. I'm not. Don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm just.
Do you know when the world went to shit?
I mean, beginning of this conversation, apparently.
No, 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 okay, the world's already to shit. It happened way before that.
Okay.
Point is, she might be older than whatever cataclysm buggered up all the trains, all the cities, everything we know about. Do you know what kind of treasure this woman might be? Where is
You
she?
call it treasure?
Of her knowledge and her experience is certainly a bloody treasure I could write 1,000 books about.
Oh, books
Yeah.
and Nora now.
Do I need to get out my box?
Your box?
flux worded box that I have that had the last book in, remember?
Oh,
You all seem to forget that I took that as my trophy, or as a treasure of mine.
Oh, I remember that.
right, about that list, I'm gonna take out my I'm gonna cast a quick glance at the bartender, see how much attention he's paying to us.
He's not. He's talking to a young dwarvish woman that appears to have walked in.
Okay, I'm gonna put my book on the table, put it somewhat more towards the wall so it's not extremely obvious that I have a fucking book. And I'm gonna find a page and write down the list of ingredients in there.
Okay, so there is obviously the heart of the dark dragon, the essence of a light dragon. There is also 50 platinum pieces,
Hold on. $50 platinum pieces.
150 gold worth of spices and exotic herbs,
Yeah.
there is a snowball with a diamond worth at least 100 gold pieces in the centre.
A snowball with a diamond worth at least a... Wait, hold on.
A snowball with a diamond worth at least 100 gold pieces at its core, or in the centre.
It's an
Like a
interesting
whole
list.
snowball.
A snowball.
Is there any snow in this world?
You're in a mountain, mate.
Yeah, there's snow.
I know.
Yeah, we can get some...
That sounds like it's a trap.
Yeah, question. Would I know if there are any in the Shattered Isles to the north, which you mentioned?
That area is potentially. It's yes, there are definitely areas up there where there is unusual snowfall.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that whole area. Every time the train goes through there, or anyone who's ever been there, everyone always reports it's always like winter up there.
Cool.
Cool stuff.
You also need a small flame, such as a candle or a torch, but it's the fire that's important. You need 10 miles of unbroken red string.
Wait a minute.
It's a lot of string.
That's a lot of string.
Specify a thickness of the string, or is it just very thin string?
String.
Fair enough.
You need 1 mile of unbroken blue string. And a gold ring enchanted with a light cantrip. And that's your shopping list.
Beautiful, thank you so much.
Damn.
Okay. Sure thing. Form. No, sorry, Pandal.
Yep.
Do you even half realize what kind of endeavor this is?
I mean, it's been a pain so far. I assume it's going to continue to be a pain. I mean, that seems logical.
Akane walks in at this point.
Oh, hey Akane!
Hey.
Could you come over here? We're about to discuss the crystal stuff.
Oh, okay. Go sit next to them.
I'll switch my book to the appropriate page before she reaches us.
Mm-hmm.
I'll shout out, "Hey Wakili, you joining for this one? The Dark Talk's over."
Akili is currently AFK. So, I'm going to assume that he does.
Okay.
But, considering what's about to happen, I think this is probably a good place to call it for a break. And then,
Indeed.
so, thanks Fortune, and we'll catch you in the next bit. Check playlist in the description.